Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider. Share and get paid. Your customers can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Save time and hassle by automating your payment process quickly and simply. Payable Forms gets you paid.
And welcome back to Colonel Samuel Smith Park on the campus of Humber College in Toronto, Ontario, where we are in the midst of Day 6 of the 2024 Transatlantic Cup. It's the men's turn today, the final day of round-robin action, as we are getting set for the battle between 1-1 Team France against Team Canada 0-2, looking for their first win of the tournament. France is in blue today with white shorts. Team Canada in the all-red strip. I'm Patrick McNeil, joined alongside David Smith, as the players are out there now getting ready for the opening bounce. David, final opportunity for both of these teams to show what they can do in the round-robin action. Before we throw it to you, we'll take a look at the men's standings. As we mentioned, France 1-1, USA also 1-1, Canada 0-2. And you have Ireland. Of course, these are prior to today's game, so the Irish dropping down to 2-1, USA 2-1, and Great Britain 2-0. As that's a bit of what it looks like heading into today's action.
Hello and bonjour from Etobicoke, Ontario. Canada looking for their first win. A disappointing start to this tournament, but there's several routes for them still to get to the semi-final. Given how this tournament works, they could even reach there with a loss. Players to watch, Trent Looseboer for Canada. He is a Burnaby Eagles defender, and Clement Decaux for the French Roosters.
Yeah, some of the names we are going to be watching. I was saying to David, I'd say at least 50% of the players out there will Parlez-vous Français today. David, how about our keys to today's game?
Canada needs to pressure early and often. They need to get some energy. They've had some disappointing results here in this tournament. Use the wings, score early and often. France can't back down. Take the game to Canada. Have belief. There's still a small chance they could make the semifinals if they win big here in this game, so they need to have belief in this game.
Play to the final buzzer, and if you're just tuning in, the way the tournament works, you have two groups of three, the European teams in one group, the teams from the Americas in the other. You play the other group. So France, a little bit up against the wall in the sense that they are a 1-1. They could win this game, but they would have to do pretty well on percentage to have a chance. But the window opening up a little bit more with the Irish loss earlier today to USA. Canada's kind of the inverse. They could potentially go through 0-3. They don't want to do that, though, and now they feel they would have a strong chance to win today against France. So again, Canada in red. Canada will be kicking towards the visitmississauga.ca, and you absolutely should visit Mississauga to see all the attractions of world-class restaurants there. Team France will be kicking towards Toronto, and that is what it's going to look like today. A nice warm day here in Toronto as we are at center field for the opening bounce. Opening tip courtesy of David Smith.
Thomas Crapin for France taking the ruck with Gregory Lehman, the big Newfoundlander, taking it in. Canada gets the ball first, kicks towards their forward 50, picks it up, high kick, could be marked, and no, it's through the hands of, can't see the number. Here's a quick kick at goal, and there's a quick goal for Canada. A dream start in this game, and that will be
Morgan White.
Goal for Canada, Morgan White. And they go to the quick 6-point lead in this game.
Yeah, first notch on the Payable app scoreboard comes courtesy of Morgan White of the Quebec Saints for Team Canada. Talk about the Canadian players that could Parlez-vous Français, and he can Parlez-vous goal for Team Canada, as it is 1-0. 6, no score for France. Again, Morgan White, 42-year-old veteran, and often a defender, but of course we're seeing the positions be a little bit fluid here in this tournament. And he's a big Sydney Swans fan like yourself, David. I understand Morgan White, and wearing the red and white of Canada and helping them with a key goal to start this game.
Another ruck contest off the hands. Canada with possession again off the ruck contest. Going in the wrong direction. Big tackle there. Lehman in there. On the hands by Royou, and handball by France. Kicks towards their forward 50 to the pocket. It's on the ground. Stops totally. Picked up by Decoux bouncing towards the pocket, and that should be a boundary throw in the French forward end of the ground, the Toronto end of Humber College Field.
Yeah, ball goes into the French forward 50 for the first time today. Nice to see students walking around the campus of Humber College today. Of course, a lot of this tournament has been contested on the weekend, so our first chance to interact with the regular student body. Hopefully they're getting a chance to take in some of this great Australian football action that we have here on the campus of Humber College. We get a boundary throw in here in the pocket, as David mentioned. Ball's going to go way up in the air. Who wants it? Contest is up in the ruck from the rock. Greg Lehman gets his hand up. There's a French kick going through. Hits hands, going to bounce around on the goal or behind line, and we get a whistle as we've played short of 2 minutes and 15 seconds of footy here in this
it's a French free kick here to 92.
Aurélien Aubert. That's a great name.
It is a great name. So let's see if there can be the quick reply here by France. Just about 2 minutes after Canada scored the first one of the game. He likes it, and it's a goal for the Roosters, and it's all tied up here early in the first quarter.
And that is Aurélien Aubert with the goal for Team France. Quick response for the French as we are not just 3 minutes into this game, and both teams have found their way for a major score. Payable Apps shows us Canada 1-0-6, France 1-0-6 as well. A cracking start to this game on a gorgeous Wednesday. David informs me it's Wednesday. I had to double check that. And it is as I said, cracking start to this game. We are all locked at 6. We get the ruck contest again. Greg Lehman, I've been told he stands 6'7". Certainly stands a lot taller than me, I can tell you that. Ball in dispute here, and it's going to be French hands that get it originally. Now the ball drifting slowly towards our There live broadcast location. Canada will watch it go out as we get some jostling around the ball. Of course, you can do some pushing and shoving around the ball even if you're not on it. That was a contest there between Rob Tersini of Canada, and also involved for France was Clément Ducot. Expect to see a lot of the ball from him. We get a boundary throw in here right next to our There live broadcast location, David.
Boundary throw in here at midfield. Again, Lehman gets the ball. He's certainly had the best ruck contest so far, but that goes nowhere. An umpire will be throwing the ball up right in front of our There live broadcast location. Lehman again with the original tap, but that's unfair there, and that will be Marco Mendras on the free kick. No, it's number 6, and that was also a 50-meter penalty. So France will get another opportunity to go into their forward 50. Will they take the lead? Here is Decoux. Decoux kicks the ball to a hot spot, and there's another mark for France, and this will certainly be a kick at goal. That's number 92.
Aubert
again. Yes, he's been strong so far in this game. Certainly been a factor.
No, but he's already manned the mark when you approach the space.
Aubert kicked the first goal for France. Let's see if he can get a second. That looks to be going right, and it sure does. That will be a behind for the Roosters. But they do take the lead on 1 goal, 1 behind, 7 points for 1 straight goal for Canada. 7-6 for France on the Payable app scoreboard.
Goal kick Canada coming off that French behind as the ball comes out out of the defensive 54 Team Canada. Canada working up the corridors. First look at Rob Inkpan of the Halifax Dockers completes that mark. Used to play in Toronto with the Rebels, has since moved east, nicknamed Squiddy by his teammates. He'll kick it through the corner, looking for his club teammate Ian Euler. Goes over Ian's head, but it hits a fellow Canadian, so they won't be upset about that. Ball will go into the forward 50 as it's into French hands. Nice intercept mark there by the French player. Looked like that was Matthew Rocca as the ball kicked along the right side. Ball will go dribbling. It's got plenty of time to stay inbound right in front of that AFL Ontario scoreboard on the Lake Ontario side of the field, opposite of our There live broadcast location. Ball goes dribbling along the left boundary for Team Canada. Again, Canada in red, kicking towards the Visit Mississauga, and you absolutely should visit Mississauga.ca, taking some of those attractions and world-class restaurants. Kick off a Canadian boot. It's going through, and that hit some of the trees behind. That is going to be a minor score. Payable Apps scoreboard's all even. 1-1-7 in the early going. Good start to this game.
Very good start. Lots of scoring shots here already. We are just Matt Smith. Anyway, 6.25 minutes into this
We're having
first
fun,
quarter.
David.
It's been a long tournament already. We still have so many days left. Anyway, here's a kick up the far side of the ground. Here is Theory. Theory kicks it towards. There's lots of space there for Pinto. Pinto kicks it towards the middle. That finds grass. Defended well by Canada. Gets it out, but not far enough, and right in the hands of Pinto. And he kicks it quick, right at goal, looks straight to the middle, off hands, and that does get the hands before the line, so that will be a behind for the Roosters.
Yeah, didn't see which Canadian player got hands on it, but that was a beautiful kick coming off the boot of Pinto. Nice spoil by Team Canada as Nyson will take possession for Team Canada now. That's Trent Loosemore, actually co-captain of Team Canada. Ball kicked along the right boundary as hands are up again by the French. As French has been able to get some of this game territorially. Nice boot, and that is going to go into the pocket. It wasn't nice as it looked originally, and the ball is going to just stay in play there in the pocket, and Team Canada will try to get this out of trouble as we hear the umpire's whistle. Again, it is 1-2-8 France, 1-1-7 Canada, 12:25 left in the Payable app scoreboard here in the opening quarter.
And this will be a free kick for Canada, so they'll should be able to get it out of their defensive 50 here. Didn't see what the call was, but the kick will be for Canada. Ball has to be delivered back, so it'll be kicked from their back line. Quick kick up the wing. Oh, French player gets his hand in. No mark there for Canada. Big collision there on the Lake Ontario side of the field. And there's arms being pointed everywhere, but I didn't see what the call is there. Looks like it's a boundary throw-in. High boundary throw-in off hands. France does gain control. Tough to see from our vantage point here.
Yeah, they're taking it away from the side of the E there, live broadcast location. They're catering to the fans, lovely fans that are over there on the other side of the field.
Enjoying the shade of the big trees here at Colonel Smith Park. I missed the first name.
No relation to you.
None
you have
at
to
all.
go
Couldn't
to
remember the first name.
Ancestry.ca on that one, Dave.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway, there's a off of Canadian boot. Lots of players around the ball. Almost as crowded as a rush hour subway train in Toronto. Here's a high one into the pocket. But France picks it up, kicks towards goal, but again, believe that's Bridges that was able to get the ball over the line and will be a rush behind.
Yeah, another update on the Payable app scoreboard. France goes 1-3-9, Canada 1-1-7. And goal kick from Canada following the minor score for France. Ball's up off some hands, going to squirt out of bounds, and we'll get a boundary throw in following that, I do believe. Again, nice day out here as we're coming up to the halfway mark of this first quarter. Final round robin action for both of these teams. France with a 1-1 record, Canada 0-2. Of course, Canada the host tournament, and the ball will be kicked for. Of course, different teams have different advantages. Canada playing on their home field, but the Canadians will tell you, and the same thing for the USA. They draw from such a wide geographical path that the players, although their teammates in this tournament don't necessarily know each other tremendously well in terms of game style and whatnot. Free kick for Team Canada's going to go into the forward 50. Hands are up. No mark to be completed there. You can hear the umpires barking instructions here. That's a kick for goal. That's going to bounce through. That's Ian Euler, I do believe. And that is going to be goal. Canada. Canada jumps out in front. And that is the rookie Ian Euler, the Halifax Dockers, with the goal for Canada. Canada moves to 2-1-13, 1-3-9 on the Payable app scoreboard.
Yeah, France had it in their forward 50, seemed to be able to ham it in there, but Canada, once they got it out, was able to get downfield, and Euler with the quick kick towards the sticks, and it rolls in, but that still counts. Full 6 points. Canada takes the lead by 4.
Ian Euler, of course, he's a high-level hockey goaltender, has played quarterback in football. He's also played some lacrosse as well, so a man of many sports talents, and now he's applying those to Australian football as well. A bit of East Coast bias for us talking about Ian, perhaps, as we see him quite frequently in our AFL Atlantic travels. Ball won by Canada in the center tap, as that's where the contest is right now. Ball will come on the ground here for Clement Ducot of France. Like his game so far, he's seen a lot of the balls you'd expect. He playing player in the midfield for the French. Again, France in blue, Team Canada in red. Ball being moved along the right side for France. Comes towards the goal square, and it's bouncing around. Who wants it? It's going to be the Canadian player picking it up. That is going to be Stephen Walker. He'll send it skyward as we've got some contests on the ground and nice conditions for this game today. Ball is going to be shortly kicked and no mark to be had there. Team France in possession as trying to get rid of it going out the back. French player as it's going to come back in. A long distance kick, doesn't have the legs. Walker was trying to bat that out. Luckily he was trying to concede it behind, and instead the ball goes out of play here as we've played almost 12 minutes of this opening quarter.
The boundary throw in the pocket, forward pocket for France. Still another chance. They've had it hemmed into their forward end of the ground for a lot of this part of the quarter, but haven't been able to cash in other than that, certainly goals anyway, other than that one. Ball in, off of Canadian hands. A lot of players around the ball. There's a kick at goal. It's still off hands. Canada defending, bending but not breaking. Near the boundary line, there's a whistle, and the umpire will say it is mine. Still in the Toronto end of the field. French forward 50. Ball is up. Big Greg Lehman again, first hands on the ball, but now France has it. Here's a kick at it, but that's way left and out on a full free kick for Canada.
Interesting, we're seeing if France has had some territorial advantages here, getting a lot of inside 50s, but haven't been able to get that last kick. Sometimes you're seeing it go out on the full behind the post, so the Canadians will be happy to keep them at bay for now. Again, it is 2-1, 13, 1-3-9 on the Payable app scoreboard as the Canadians look to go out, work along the right boundary, slightly into the corridor as ball goes up. And of course, if you're Canadian hockey fans, sort of similar. You try to go off the glass and out and then cut towards the middle in Australian football as the
French didn't have it.
As wanted to say thanks to the good crew here at eThere Live. They've piped us into the umpires in this game so you can hear some of the explanations straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Kick to a free kick for France in the left pocket. Now centering kick for France. Not quite marked, but does end up in French hands. Contest along the ground. I don't think there was anything in the way of prior there, and in fact it's going to be a Canadian free kick.
Canadian defense been really good at getting in the contest and not making it easy for the French. They've had lots of time in their forward 50, but again, not a lot of, only the one goal so far. So territorial advantage, but Canada leads by 4. And again, a whistle here. There'll be a ball up just to the left of the eThere Live broadcast position. Canada looking going towards the Mississauga end with hundreds of must-see experiences, plenty of gorgeous scenery, world-class eats and events. Mississauga is yours to explore. There's a kick out on the full. Thought it was going to hit the top of our broadcast location, but I believe it went right over. And this will be a free kick for France, just in front of us. Again, France going towards their goal, so we'll see if finally they can get it. This is Simon Modine. Here's a kick down the line. That bounces, picked up by France. Here is 92 Aubert, off hands to the pocket. Ball bouncing around, no one really can get, there's a bat of the ball by Canada. We'll see if that's will be considered deliberate and a free kick to France. No, it looks like it's going to be a boundary throw-in.
Yeah, that was Lucas Rathgeb of the Toronto Rebels. I think he was trying to, at least the umpire thought that he was trying to keep the ball in play, and whether he was or not, that's going to be the official ruling as it ends up being the boundary throw-in, and it ends up in Canadian hands. Again, we've got some good footy going on here. We're at 15 minutes through the first quarter here, and Canada has the edge. Ball to the ground now. One of the great things here, all the players on the sidelines barking, campaigning, but it is going to be a ball up. Umpire says that ball is mine, and it will come up, and Lehman will bat it forward as the ball comes back to France, though, as there'll be a quick tackle. No prior opportunity there, so the ball will go up again, and we'll see who takes this ruck. And this time the tap is won by the French. Hands are just batting away at the ball, but it ends up being Team Canada. Skyward kick comes up. Contest along the ground, and the push in the back is, you have to be careful contesting the ball there. You can't, much like American or Canadian football, you can't try to play the other man if you're not at least trying to play the ball.
This is Huvion Wilfried for France, and another mark here at midfield. France taking a little bit calmer, but that's missed. It was kick now down the line. They still gain control. That will be a free kick to France, number 31, Bonhomme. So this should be another forward 50 entry. Been down the Toronto end certainly most of this quarter. Still 3.5 minutes left here in the first quarter. Kick. A lot of players around the ball. And again, another whistle. Lots of whistles, lots of stoppages here in the first quarter. Bit of a scrappy. And a free kick picked out here for Canada. So this should relieve the pressure somewhat on their defense. And a mark there for number 19.
That's Victor Cinco. He was
Victor
a late addition
Cinco.
to the Team
That's
Canada roster.
Yep. And off French hands, Canada gains control. That handball's not the best. Several players around the ball. Handball off the toe there. Here is Burke. Now France gains control. Number 19, Boubet. Kick towards forward 50, off hands. Canada defending again. Fenders, and there's, now here's 62, gets a foot on it. Ball just bouncing around like crazy here. Lehman with the kick, a long kick, but that's right to the French player, Crepin. And France will take control. Here is Lachelle. Kick towards the boundary, off of Canadian hands. There's a lot of players around the ball. Will this not be another stoppage? Here is number 7, has the ball. Boucher kicks it towards French forward 50. We've said that a lot so far in this quarter. Still almost 2 minutes left in this quarter, and that will be a stoppage in the French forward 50.
Yeah, we don't have an official count on the inside 50 count, but I would say France has the edge there, but they are trailing on the scoreboard. We get a ruck contest. Lehman gets first hands on it, but no clear possession for either side. As again, French on the attack. They're kicking towards the Toronto Island end. As we will get an umpire whistle again. Just a little under 1.5 left in a good first quarter of football. Final round robin game for each of these teams, and it is going to be a French free kick, and it looks like the player is going to back up and take some time, maybe play with that mouth guard a little bit as the French have an opportunity to perhaps go ahead. That is going to be Marco Pinto of the Bordeaux Bombers, a veteran, played in the International Cup in 2017. He's had a lot of the ball in this first quarter as well. He's got an opportunity, and all we're hearing is whistles, and I think there's a clarification to put the man on the mark here. That's what the umpire is chiming in, and looks like Pinto's going to get to back up again and redo. And we'll see what he has to offer here. And don't know if he has a ton in terms of options except to kick straight for goal. He does his leg have it. Ball's going up.
Right through the middle. Yeah, that'll be a goal for Pinto. Excuse me, Patrick.
No, it was Pinto. It wasn't me that kicked the goal.
It's true.
And that will make it 2-3-15, 2-1. 13 as France out in front on the Payable Apps scoreboard. Don't forget to visit payableapps.com. They help sports teams simplify fee collection through their Google add-ons, a payment solutions company that provides various add-ons allowing payment to be made via credit card inside of a Google form or Google Sheets. We certainly thank them for their support of Australian football and the 2024 Transatlantic Cup.
Less than 10 seconds here in the first quarter. Ball to the middle ground, going to be thrown up, but won't much. No, that's the horn.
You're a liar, David. The ball wasn't thrown up at all.
No, that's true. That's true. I thought we were going to get it in there, but it doesn't. Regardless, it is the quarter time. France on the Payable App scoreboard with 2 goals, 3 behinds, 15 points to Canada. 2 goals, 1 behind, 13. At quarter time, France leads by 2.
And I'd have to say, David, I think that late Pinto goal kind of corrected where we should be on the scoreboard. It's been a good first quarter of footy. Both teams very engaged, but we said before that ball went through the post that France with an inside 50 advantage, and to me, I think there merits for a small lead in what's been a good quarter of football.
Absolutely. If I was French coach Jason Quinn, I would be happier than Canadian coach Sean Gaudier because they had the territorial advantage, seemed to be making the better decisions. Really, that quick kick by Oyer is really the only goal that Canada got. Or excuse me, there was
2 goal for them,
second goal, yeah. So But if that didn't happen, I mean, it'd be a wider lead here for France. So certainly a better quarter for France, I feel, than Canada. And they're going to have to come stronger here in the second quarter if they want to win this matchup.
I would agree, France, the better team territoriality, but not a ton to choose from between these two teams, which makes for some entertaining Aussie football action. We're enjoying it. We hope you are as well. You're watching the 2024 Transatlantic Cup, coming to you live from Colonel Samuel Smith Park in Toronto, Ontario, on the campus of Humber College, produced by eThere Live, streaming on YouTube, courtesy of AFL Canada.
Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider. Share and get paid. Your customers can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Save time and hassle by automating your payment process quickly and simply. Payable Forms gets you paid.
Play for fun. Play for fitness. Play for glory. Play for community. Play for club. Play for country. Play for each other. Play because you love playing. Play footy. Visit aflcanada.com and find a club near you today.
And welcome back to the campus of Humber College here at beautiful Colonel Samuel Smith Park in Toronto, Ontario, where it's day 6 of the 2024 Transatlantic Cup, final day of men's round robin action. And in the second game of the day, we have Team Canada against Team France. And we look at the Payable app scoreboard. It shows us 2-3, 15 France, 2-1, 13 Canada. And as we were saying prior to the break, David, a pretty closely contested first cue.
Absolutely. France certainly, though, had the territorial advantage, particularly in the second half of that quarter. And certainly the goal late was full power to them because they had lots of chances and finally put their second one through the big sticks to take the lead late in the quarter.
Yeah, Team France counting well for themselves in this tournament. Of course, they come into today's game 1-1. Canada still looking for their first victory of the tournament. Again, this is day 2. Reminder, the top 2 teams from each region will go through, and during the round robin, they're only playing the opposing region. And so that is what it looks like. Of course, earlier today, we had a spectacular game with the United States rallying to beat Ireland. Final game of the day, we'll see Colombia take on Great Britain. So again, just more and more great footy being played here on the campus of Humber College. I said school is back in. I know it's the summer, so most of you are not in school, but we've got some students walking around campus today, taking in some of the games as well. And again, not a ton of discrepancy between these two teams heading in. And just tell us about some of the game presentation and who's helping all this take place this week, David.
Well, helping to have this is the Australian High Commission of Canada, who is sponsoring all balls used throughout the tournament. They're responsible for advancing Australia's interest in Canada. Visit their website at canada.embassy.gov.au. So we're about ready for the start here of the second quarter. Canada hoping for certainly more territorial play here in the second. The ball's up. Lehman. Again, Canada gains control briefly off the ruck, but now France gains it. Now Canada with the handball. It hits grass. Kick towards just outside their forward 50. France, though, mops up. kicks it, but in Lehman's hands, but he drops it. Ball on the first side, on the Lake Ontario side. France kick, high kick towards their forward 50, off the hands of, I believe that was Escaravage, thank you.
Yes. Getting it tougher for us to get the names because our sheets are just blowing around here in the wind. Yes, I'm spoiling our broadcaster secrets.
My tongue's tired from all these. It was day 6 now.
Who can keep track?
Who can keep track? Here on this Wednesday.
Yes.
Hump Day here at Humber College. Boundary throw in. French forward 50. Lehman again. All 6'7", using that frame. Canada trying to gain true possession, but ball's held up, and this will be a boundary throw. A ball up.
Will be a ball up indeed. No clear tap for either side. Remember that France is kicking towards the visitmississauga.ca, and you absolutely should visit Mississauga for all the hundreds of world-class restaurants and attractions. Of course, Canada kicking towards Toronto end. And the French battling for the ball just outside or near the forward 50 there. No clear possession or no clear opportunity to get rid of that, so that's going to lead to a ball up. So we get a rucking contest. Teams nominate their respective rucks, and it's tapped by the French. A clever handwork there. Not an easy task to go against Greg Lehman and win in the ruck just due to his towering size. Canada back in possession, though, trying to get it out of trouble as the ball in the defensive 50 of Team Canada is going to just squirt out over the arc and back into neutral territory, so to speak. Ball bouncing around on the ground as the French player trying to protect the ball was Timothy Lang of the Anthony Blues, and the ball will go down. Not a lot of prior opportunity there, so it looks like that might be umpire ball. Canadian player might be a bit slow to get up. Thankfully, that was a false alarm on my part. He's pulled up, and he's got the football. He'll hand it off to the umpire, and I'll hand it off to David Smith.
Ball up now. Lehman again takes most of the rucks, certainly for Canada. Why wouldn't you have a player of that size take the rucks? However, France gains control, gets another forward 50 entry, kicked right back out by Canada, but right in the hands. And then it goes right back in the pocket. And there is a mark, I believe, by Escravage in the pocket. Canadian defense, again, bending but not breaking, but they need to gain some control and get it into Toronto Island end here at Humber College. That ball's over the line. Going to be a boundary throw-in. Far side, Lake Ontario side of the field. Gregory Lehman says, here I am, I want the ball. Boundary throw-in, it's up and away. Lehman does get his hand on it, but that goes in the French hands. All kinds of players around the ball. Turn around and kick for France. There's a drop mark. France will get another forward 50 entry. Kick towards goal. It's an empty goal square. The ball goes to the right of the ball. Oh, hits the behind post, but that will still be a boundary throw in the pocket, in the forward pocket for France.
Yeah, good opportunity here for France here. Perhaps they'll take that no score because it gives them a 50-50 proposition here and deep in the forward 50 pocket for Team France. Ball is won by the French. Ball will just squirt back over, so it ends up being a bit of a non-event. And I think I heard the umpire adjudicate that would be a kick to Canada again, thanks to the production staff at There Live tapping us into the umpires. Like to be able to hear the sounds of the game, and they can explain that a lot clearer than we can, as we're just kind of coloring in the action in between. Ball will be kicked to way up in the skies. That going to stay in bounds? No, that is going to go out. It would be out on the full. Yes, it is out on the full, so that's going to be an advantageous French free kick, and that is looks like it's going to be in the forward 50 here, as there's a boot off French legs, goes towards the goal square. Hands are up all over the place. Who wants it? It's going to be soccered off the ground. It'll dribble through. That is going to be a French major score. Team France adds to their lead. Looks to me like that was Yoann Thierry batting that through on the ground. So France will move to 3-3-21, 2-1-13 on the Payable app scoreboard. France up by 8.
Another goal for France, and they extend their lead to now 8 points. Certainly, Canada really hasn't gotten their mojo going for most of this game. It's been mostly in the visitmississauga.ca end. That's not the end Canada wants. And France gets their third major of the game.
Yeah, as much fun as it is to visit Mississauga, The team Canada wants to be on the other end of the field, kicking towards Toronto, but it has been the French getting a start that they want as we're just past the 5-minute mark. We get the ruck, and it's won by France as Thomas Crépin, I've been told he goes by Billy in some circles, wins the ruck. France in possession now as they work on the Lake Ontario side of the field next to that beautiful AFL Ontario scoreboard. And also the fan section is over there as well as we get a contest there in the right side of the field, or side of the field opposite to me, I suppose. Left, right. What is left and right these days? As we will get, what are we going to get here? Looks like a French free kick.
French free kick, yeah. There's a kick, and there's another one of, that's...
I think that's Montagne.
Payable. Payable with the mark and the free kick here. Kicks towards the hot spot. Lots of players going to be around the ball here. Defended by Canada. Kicked it on the ground. Can he pick it up here? He can't. Now it's picked up by Canada. Far end of the field. And that's over the line. Should be a boundary throw in. Here still shallow inside the French, no, just outside the French forward 50.
Yeah, another perhaps advantageous 50-50 battle here for Team France. Of course, France with the 8-point lead. We're in the second quarter. Again, this is the final day of men's round robin action as the ball comes up in the air. Who wants it? Original tap goes to Team Canada. Ball on the ground now as quick whistle there as not much in the way of opportunity. And I think I heard the umpire say my balling and want to keep the flow of this game going. And we will get a ball up as we come across the 7-minute mark here of this second quarter. Ball up is tapped by the Canadian layman. Now it's in dispute. Team Canada try to work along the right boundary. Ball goes up in the air. No mark to be had. Comes to French hands along the Lake Ontario side of the field. Handball out of play as Team French was trying to keep that in, not able to do so. And instead, the ball will be thrown in by the boundary umpire.
Far side of the field. Is it a free kick to Canada here? No, no, boundary throw in, there is. Thrown in. Moaning in the ruck for Canada right now. France wins the ball along the line. That will be another boundary throw in. Lots of stoppages here in this game.
Pace has slowed down in the second quarter.
Absolutely. Another boundary throw in, Lake Ontario side of the field. Beautiful day here at Humber College. Little bit of a breeze, was a bit of a gusty breeze earlier, but that seems to have lessened. Not the humidity of some of the previous days of the tournament. Here's the boundary throw in. Off hands, it looks like Moaning still in ruck for Canada. And there's a tackle, and again, this will be a ball up here just on the wings of midfield. It's thrown up quickly. Off hands for Canada, and again, it rolls over the line as this game has slowed to a crawl. We have 11:20 left here in the second quarter. France leads by 8. Here at Humber College, third round of the men's competition of the 2024 Transatlantic Cup presented by Payable Apps. Here's the boundary throw in. France gains possession. Was he tackled without the ball? Yes, he was. That'll be a free kick to France.
Yeah, France on the opposite end of the field to us. Kick goes towards the forward 50, and it's tapped by Canadian hands as I think that's Capella trying to get his hands on it. Battle along the ground, seeing a lot of that. And the play goes right on. Again, the umpire on top of the action. Handball option executed by Team France. Ball comes through. And that is going to be a major score. Looks like that was off the boot of Bastien Aubert. And perhaps the scoring has become unbearable for Team Canada as it is another major score for France. Score goes to 4-3, 27-2-1, 13 Canada as it is another Aubert. And it is a French advantage on the Payable App scoreboard.
After all the deep entries into forward 50, it's a quick kick from about 40 or 35 meters that gets their fourth goal here for France. And again, they lead by 14 points. Not the first half that Canada wanted. We're just past the halfway point of the second quarter on the Payable App scoreboard.
Ball will go up. Canada France contest in the ruck, tap by Canadian hands. Ball comes out towards our either live broadcast location. Ball comes now onto Canadian hands again. Again, Canada kicking towards the Toronto end. The French kicking towards the Visit Mississauga end. And they've been visiting Mississauga a lot in this second quarter as we get a contest along the ground. Umpire is going to try to sort that out. And the solution is to take the ball himself and throw it up in the air and see who wants it. Tap is going to be won by the French. Carpan has done a pretty good job in the ruck for France in this contest thus far as the play blown down. And it is going to be a Canadian free kick. That is going to be the hands of Stephen Walker, who's had some of the ball today for Canada. He'll use the out-back option, and it's kicked along the right side. It'll come up, and no clean mark to be had there. Both teams, both nations getting men to the contest there. That's why the play goes on, as it's, again, opposite our broadcast location on the Lake Ontario side, as that was Trent Loosemore, I think, or might have been Jason Neiston throwing some elbows there, as we have just under 9 minutes left in the second quarter. France holding a 14-point lead.
Boundary throw in the midfield. Canada really I don't believe they've seen their forward 50 here in this quarter. France has, you almost say, dominated this quarter so far. Still lots of time left in this game, and you feel Canada, if they get some mojo, can certainly get back into it. Here is off hands, and again, over the boundary line. We've said that a lot in this quarter. Certainly a bit of scrappy old game here in the first half of this game between Canada and France. Third round of the 2024 Transatlantic Cup, presented by Payable Apps. Last round of the pool portion of this tournament. That's off of French hands. Kick down the line. They've been doing a lot of that to some, certainly some success. There's a kick inward for Canada. That misses Capilla, but he picks it up. Handball goes, hits grass. Ball going in the right direction. Can Canada gain possession? They can't, because it's picked up by France. Here is a kick towards, that's caught and marked, but he plays on. Kicks towards forward 50 for France, but the Canadian defense holds. This is 51, Loosemore. It's kicked towards the middle, but right to a French player. France again going to get kicked towards their forward 50. We've said that a lot in this quarter. Kick marked that one. Ball hits the grass. Lots of players around the ball. Who can gain control? Little quick kick by France. This could be a chance for them. Will it just go through? It went through, but did it? No, it's a goal for France. There's their fifth. That ball just kept going, bouncing and rolling, and no one could get a hand on it for Canada, and it goes through the big sticks and counts a goal for France.
Now, I'm not 100% sure if that ball just dribbled all the way through or whether or not Thomas Lachelle ended up getting his boot on it. I think that would be Lachelle's goal, but it was some good work there for Team France. We might have to go to the scorer's review on that one, David, but we don't have to review the actual score, as France 5-3-33, Canada 2-1-13, as it is a 33-13 lead for Team France. As we will get a center bounce coming up, and that is going to be won by Lehman. Taps to his left. As the Canadians keeping the ball alive, it's going to come to Mickey Berk. As I think we got another ball up. Mickey Berk plays for the Edmonton Wombats, known as Daisy in some corners. Originally hails from Frankfurt, but obviously playing for Team Canada now. They do have a burgeoning scene of Australian football in Germany, but they're not at this tournament. As the ball is won by Team Canada on the ruck. Here's Ian Euler of the Halifax Dockers. He'll boot it along the right side as the ball goes squirting. It stays inbound. As the Canadians trying to get a forward 50 entry. They haven't had a lot of those in the second quarter. Ball kicked along at the right side as we're in the Toronto end of the field. The ball will go out of bounds, and that should end up in the hands of the umpire for a boundary throw in here. And that's exactly what's going to happen as we have 5.5 to go here in this second quarter of play. Canada trails by 20 against Team France. France in blue, Canada in red.
Boundary throw in the Canadian forward pocket. It's like taking the ruck is number 62, Jason Neiston. So some changes there with the ruck. We haven't seen Lehman for a while. Here's a kick at goal. Won't make it. It bounces. France defending. There's a quick tackle. Gets it away. Ball still on the ground. Going towards the pocket. Two Canadian players fall, and that's going to relieve the pressure for France.
Good handball option by the French. Ball kicked and a great smother there by the Canadian player. That was nice, and as the ball dribbling into the forward 54 Team Canada. And looking for a handball. Nope, going to turn around and fire. Looks like that's going to be offline, but it's a mark. Thought that might go through for behind, but it's a mark for Team Canada. Play on kick opportunity. That goes through. Is that going to be a goal? That was Morgan White blasting it through for a major score. Canada on the board. France 5-3-33, Canada 3-1-19. Key goal for Morgan White of the Quebec Saints.
Kyle Graham with the nice kick and then the nice mark by White, who turns around, kicks it towards between the big sticks and gets Canada back into this game.
Yeah, and that's what had been missing for Canada. It's one thing to complete a nice handball or a nice kick, but we hadn't seen a lot of linking up. We saw it on that sequence, and that allows the Canadians to get a key major score with time starting to tick down here in this second quarter. Morgan White blasted through for his second of the contest. We get a ball up here at midfield. There's no clear win of the ruck. It bounces off the ground as the French hands moving it forward. It'll come back now as it's booted out towards the left boundary, and the ball bouncing around. Team Canada in possession in the defensive 50. It's booted along the right boundary there by Cinco, and play will end up going out.
Confirmed the fifth goal for France was Orion Aubert's second goal of the game, so we have had that confirmation.
Yeah, good work by our crack video team determining that as the ball bouncing around here in the middle of the field. Comes onto French hands. It's booted along the left side as it'll go bouncing out. Lehman tries to get his hands on it. Now the ball dribbling on its face, and it'll come back to French hands again. They're looking for a good forward 50 entry here. As here the umpires say play on, and there'll be a
free kick for France to Bebe for he gets hit high. So this is, again, within their forward 50. Will he kick for goal? About 40 meters out, I would say that this will be possibly 45.
Watch the holds, boys.
Bube looks like has the eyes for the big sticks. Lots of players in the goal square, though, if he wants options. There's a lead. He kicks it. Looks to be going well left. It sure does. And it goes over, not on the full, possibly out on the full. We'll see. Out on the full. So this will be a free kick for Canada. Possibly relieve the defensive pressure. We're just over 2 minutes left here in the second quarter. We have a 14-point lead for France. Kick up the line to the midfield. There's a mark at midfield for Canada.
It's Nyston.
Nyston with a nice mark. Kicks it towards the line, and another good mark for Canada. Finally getting some mojo going, getting some consecutive marks. Can they get it into forward 50? Just over a minute and a half, 90 seconds left here in the first half. Long straight kick off of French hands, not really the Canadian advantage. That goes in the pocket over the line, and that will be a boundary throw-in in the Canadian forward pocket, end of the ground.
Yeah, good opportunity for Canada here where this throw-in is going to be, and Canada looking for those opportunities. They find themselves down right now, and the French in control of the 33-19 lead, so a 14-point game at this juncture. And we await the ball to be thrown in as we're crossing into the final minute of play, it looks like, here in quarter number 2. Final minute of the half. And nice tap by the Canadian players. The ball pushed forward. I think Inkpen was in that contest for Team Canada. It's going to be booted out of trouble by the French. And it'll come out towards midfield. Ball bouncing along the ground here. Team Canada looking to get something on. That's going to be dropped, and will that be classified as a throw? French free kick. They will just play on, play to advantage as the ball booted forward, and it's going bouncing. Nobody in the French forward 50. Ball bouncing around, and it's going to be pushed through, and it was trying to be pushed through by the Canadian player there, Victor Cinco of the Hamilton Wildcats, and then he was attempting to just try to shovel that over the behind line. Of course, you're conceding a point by doing that, but you're perhaps preventing a 50-50 contest. However, he was not able to concede the behind, and France will have an opportunity to win this ball deep in their forward 50. It's booted out, or punched out by Lehman, and he will succeed in killing the second quarter. A second quarter that concludes with France up on the Payable app scoreboard, 5-3-33, Canada 3-1-19, as France kind of able to pad to their lead a little bit in that second quarter.
full marks to France for the lead in this game. They've again, both quarters had the territorial advantage. Canada getting some linking of marks going forward through the midfield later in that second quarter. Little bit better for them, but they're going to need to do a lot better in the second half to get back truly into this game.
Yeah, the Canadian men still looking for the first win on home soil in this tournament. Of course, this is the 2024 Transatlantic Cup. It is taking place here at Colonel Samuel Smith Park on the campus of Humber College in Toronto, Ontario. You're watching said 2024 Transatlantic Cup broadcast by eThere Live, streaming on YouTube, courtesy of AFL Canada at the half.
Aussie Rules the World podcast is a podcast dedicated to bringing our listeners information from international Aussie rules, from news, reports, reviews, and interviews from people dedicated to building Aussie rules internationally. During the Transatlantic Cup, World Footy Shorts will be bringing you daily updates from what's happened from the games and around the event. And this is Aussie Rules the World podcast.
AFL has huge potential, not only in Colombia, but also Latin America. And Orica is really excited to be part of that story.
Los lazos humanos entre Colombia y Australia son de una importancia altísima. Para ambos países el deporte es algo muy importante en la vida. Tenemos las culturas muy similares en este sentido, con los valores de equidad de género, de participación. En la cancha todos somos iguales.
Mi vida siempre se basó en el tema del deporte, porque el deporte a mí me salvó de todo aspecto posible, que normalmente en la juventud no. El tema de alcohol, de vicios y demás, a mí llegó a mi vida fue el deporte. En el 2019 tuve un accidente de tránsito donde las oportunidades de volver a tocar una cancha eran nulas. Aún los médicos me dicen, tú cero deporte, cero correr, jugar, saltar, deportes de contacto. Siento que mi familia en esa parte forma un pilar importantísimo. Mi mamá estuvo conmigo y me cuidó como nadie lo hizo, porque era la que tenía y se aguantaba la de mamá, no quiero a nadie en ese momento.
AFL Colombia has the potential to have long-lasting impacts in the communities. Entonces, Alejandro, Oscar y Estefanía, we chose these players as the future leaders because they showed throughout the selection process and throughout their time in the organisation that they are future leaders and they are really focused on developing others.
La idea es crecer aún más, estar en un nivel alto para así poder llegar y enseñarle a todos a mis compañeros.
Para mí la beca es una oportunidad enorme, una oportunidad que no se le presenta a cualquiera, una oportunidad que ya tenía mi nombre destinado en ello. Voy a vivir siempre agradecida con este deporte porque me dio una luz. Porque yo vivía mi vida, después del accidente, vivía mi vida, pero no era feliz. Cuando conocí el deporte y empecé a jugar de nuevo, y vida está de testigo, mi vida cambió.
That's the culmination of a lot of work for a lot of people. A heap of people have contributed to this, and it's great to see them living out their dreams, and you know, we're all very excited for them, and it's going to be great.
Great news, sports teams. Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Setup is easy. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider, share, and get paid. Players can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more, streamlining the process for them, all while you stay organized with real-time updates. Registrations, uniforms, races, sponsorship, clinics, coaching, training, and classes. Keep it simple with Payable Forms.
And welcome back, everybody, to Colonel Samuel Smith Park here on the campus of Humber College in Toronto, Ontario, where we are in the middle of Day 6 of the 2024 Transatlantic Cup. In fact, we're exactly in the middle of Day 6 because we're at the halfway point of the second of 3 games. It is Team Canada and Team France right now on the Payable app scoreboard. It is 5-3-33 France, 3-1-19 for Canada. France is in blue today, Canada in red, and I, Patrick McNeil, am joined alongside David Smith, your all-Canadian commentary team. And our home country, unfortunately, has some work to do, I guess. It's been a pretty good game, but obviously going the way of the team in blue today.
France showing the form that allowed them to be a runner-up in only their second appearance in the AFL Europe Championship in 2022. Canada certainly needing to up their game here in the second half as they are trailing the French by 14. The Roosters are crowing here so far in this game. Beautiful day here at Humber College. Certainly can't blame any conditions for anything in this game. So we'll see if Canada can improve on their first half here in the second of this game.
Yeah, weather is certainly favorable for both sides in this third quarter. It will reset to what we saw in the first quarter, where Team Canada in red is going to be going right to left from my vantage point. That means they are kicking towards Toronto, and the French will be kicking left to right. They will be kicking towards the visitmississauga.ca, in which everybody should do. You absolutely should visit mississauga.ca and all the great attractions and restaurants they have there, as we are back at center of the field. The opening ball up for the third quarter will be presented by David Smith.
Mississauga is yours to explore, and Canada's hoping to explore the Mississauga end of the ground. The ball ready to be thrown up to start the third quarter. Lehman again in the ruck. He gets the hands on it. Canada, and that'll be a throw, I believe, yes, and that will be a free kick to France. So not the start that Canada wanted. Couldn't see the number, but here's the kick for France towards here, our end of the ground is Bayouche. Bayouche with the mark. Kicks towards our forward 50 through the hands of his teammate, though kicked towards by Roar. Canada gets a handball away, but picked up by France, and I think they like it. That's Roar. He's roaring with a goal, and that's their sixth of this game.
Yeah, it is the sixth major score indeed, and as David said, the French are roaring start to this third quarter, literally and figuratively. 6-3-39, 3-1-19 on the Payable lap scoreboard. Team France, we mentioned, they do have an outside chance of getting into a semifinal contention. They would really have to run up the score on Canada. That's what they're going to try to do, and you obviously always want to play your best till the whistle, and a very strong start. And as David was talking about earlier, really fun to watch the growth of French-Australian football, and they are out to a 20-point lead here early in this third quarter. Ball comes up at center.
Lehman up for Canada again, and that's a free kick there for Canada. So Lehman has a big boot on him, and he uses it. Kick towards the forward 50 for Canada, the Visit Mississauga.ca end. France picks it up. Lots of Canadian players right around him. That was Burke and Graham, but that's a free kick considered high. France, kick down the line. That finds grass. Will it find the line? It does. That'll be a boundary throw-in. Boubet was unable to get that. That will be a boundary throw-in directly in front of our very live broadcast position.
Certainly is right in front of us. Great view of the action. Great action we've been seeing all week, and so much more to come here in the 2024 Transatlantic Cup. Ball is up. Where is it going to go? Lehman pushes it forward with his hands. The players all right in front of us, as that is Inkpen with it for the Team Canada. He's taken down. I don't think he had much in the way of prior. And I mentioned earlier, Rob Inkpen plays for the Halifax Dockers, coming by way of the Toronto Rebels. And he just actually was in Argentina recently. Unfortunately for him, he had to be there when Canada lost in that Gold Cup semifinal. As the ball is being batted along the side, and it will go at a play. I don't think there was really much in terms of opportunity there. And the ball will find its way to the hands of the boundary umpire here, as we are almost 3 minutes into this third quarter of play, as the Canadians trail by 20 to France here in this final round-robin game for both of these teams.
Boundary throw-in outside of the Canadian forward 50 arc. Certainly the right end of the field, though. We haven't had a lot of that for Canada. Picked up by Burke. Burke bounces, kicks and bounces. It's on the ground. Who gets to pick it up? The French do. They clear it out, but that's right in the hands of Greg Bridges. And that should be another forward 50 entry. Canada finally getting a little bit of territorial play here. Here's a kick, long kick towards the hot spot. That first goes off French hands, and then it's Decaux. Gets it back. Here's a kick in front of us, and nice hand there and spoil by 19 Cinco. Keep looking at the list, and he's not there.
Yeah, again, a late addition was Victor Cinco. And again, if you're not familiar with Aussie football, I like to mention this every so often, that it's the ball that has to stay in bounds. So if you ever see a situation where, hey, that guy looks like he's out of bounds, and the play keeps going, it's because the player was able to keep the ball in bounds. However, in this case, it is going to be a boundary throw-in. You can see the Rucks nominating themselves. Of course, they're the only ones that can touch the ball until one of them touches it or it hits the ground. And the ball has hit the ground off the French hands. And guess what? We're going to get to do it all over again, as they've done such a great job of building this eThere live broadcast location that the ball decided it wanted to spend some time here, but it ended up veering a little bit off. And of course, those balls are provided by the Australian High Commission to Canada, who are sponsoring all the balls used throughout the tournament. They're responsible as well for advancing Australian interests in Canada. As we get a ball up here, boundary throw in. Who's going to end up with it? Lehman tries to get his hands on it, as the ball will end up on French feet. It's Aubert who has a goal in this contest already, going towards the French forward 50. Ball bouncing around. Who's going to get it? Goes to the ground. Hands are all over it. And I think that's going to end up in the hands of the umpire once again. And the vocal responsibilities will hand up in the voice box of David Smith momentarily.
Lehman again in the ruck for Canada. Bats it sideways. Not in Canadian hands, though. Quick tackle on the pickup by France. They're just outside the 50 forward arc for France. France leads this game by 20. We're 5 minutes here into the third quarter of this Canada versus France. There's a quick tackle. And no prior opportunity. That will be ball up. Again, basically right on the 50-meter arc on the French scoring end of the field. Canada gains control, kicks towards the boundary, doesn't make it there. Off of the hands of Boubet. Boubet gets it back. He's tackled. Was that a throw? Umpire said no. Here's Boubet. That goes, no mark there. Lots of players around the ball. Picked up by Roar. France again. Here is number 31 Bonhomme. Kicks it towards, and there's a mark within the forward 50 for France, so they'll get another kick at goal. I'd say that's going to be a kick about 35 meters. And I think that might be Busquer. Here's the kick. They like it. They really like it. And that's the 7th goal for France, so that's a lucky 7 for France. They extend their lead, and on the Payable app scoreboard, it's France, 7 goals, 3 behinds, 45 points by 3 goals, 1 behind, 19 points.
Yeah, it's Flying Frenchmen here in this third quarter. They add to their lead, as David just stated, 45-19. Ball will come back to center. Beautiful mark converted into a goal for Team France. So the ball will come back to the middle of the field. Canada hasn't really been able to find their way, so to speak, in the early part of this third quarter. Still lots of time left, though. Ball is going to go up in the air, as I believe that was Pierre Bocard that kicked that through. And again, it was a really nice mark as well to set that goal up. As the French will take possession, ball kicked towards the left boundary, and nobody able to reel that one in. It's going to end up in French hands along the left boundary, and a good lead there by the French player. Setting up the option was Logan Bonhomme. And Logan Bonhomme will assess his options as he's got himself a free kick here. And what's he going to do? He's going to kick it to a contest near the goal square. French hands are up. Canadian hands are up. No one's able to get it. Ball bouncing around the ground. It's soccered, not quite out there. As some bumping along the ball. Of course, you can do that if you're within the arc. As there's a kick off the ground, and that is going to go. And it looked like it might go through for the minor score, but instead it stays in play. Ball bouncing around the boundary line there. Now it's punched through. That is going to be the minor score that will show France 7-4-46. Canada 3-1-19 on the Payable app scoreboard. You should visit payableapps.com for more information on our tournament title sponsor.
Rush behind for Canada. They'll try to clear it out of their defensive 50. High kick in the direction of Moaning, but he can't take it down. Free kick to France. Here is Richard. Off hands, ball on the ground. France picks it up. Here's a long handball. And it goes to Richard. That's a tackle, and it's play on. There's another one. This will not be play on. This is holding the ball. This is a free kick to France. To number 20, Timothy Lang of the Anthony Blues. His debut in international footy. He plays on. Kicked away by Canada. Ball bounces. Chasing it is Graham. He can't pick it up. France now has it. This number 7, Boucher. Kicks it towards French forward 50. The ball bouncing on the ground. Kick towards goal. And all that hits is the branches of the tree on the far end. This will be out on the full and a free kick for Canada.
Trees falling, lovely trees, nice scenery, much like the great scenery we have in Mississauga, as you should visit Mississauga.ca. Free kick for Canada behind the post, and it goes all the way up the left wing, and Team Canada earns themselves another free kick off the mark. And it's going to be booted, kept along that left boundary. Ball goes skyward, bouncing along on the ground. Handball option executed by Canada. A little bit of give and go there. Ball tapped along the right side. Canada trying to do a little bit of east-west action, but instead it's going to end up in French hands. Out the back as the ball tumbling along the ground as the French player with it is able to get rid of it. He was under pressure. Umpire decided to allow the player to get rid of the ball. That is the discretion there as the ball will go dribbling along the ground again. And French feet afoot as it comes about to number 6 for Team France. That is Clement Decou, who's had a good game for Team France. Ball will come bouncing along into French hands again. Handball option, good awareness there. Kick off the boot, and that is going to go to nobody in particular. There's a marking contest there that was won by nobody. Walker will handball it back for Team Canada. Canada under siege here a little bit, and that is a key intercept mark for Clement Decou of the Baron Torador. He is a really good game for Team France. He's got himself a free kick from about 55 meters out.
Absolutely, Decou will kick, see if he can. There's several players leading, taking his time. As you would expect, they have the lead. They certainly don't have to rush here. Decou with the kick. It's a good one. It's high. It goes off of hands. Will be a rush behind, and that will be France's 5th behind. 7 goals, 5 behinds, 47 points to Canada. 3 goals, 1 behind, 19 points on the Payable Apps scoreboard.
Yeah, good job of the last line of defense there for Canada. Save 5 points on the rush behind. Ball is going to be pushed out along the left side. It hits hands and it goes dribbling along the ground. Of course, that Aussie football, when it hits the ground, very unpredictable in terms of the bounces it's going to take. If you've known or watched enough games, you certainly know that as the Canadians try to move it forward, looking for a forward 50 entry, which they haven't had enough of for their liking here. They want to visit Mississauga.ca. That's what they're doing now as the ball bouncing on the ground. Clean crack at goal for Team Canada, and that is going to be a goal off the boot of Kyle Graham of the Quebec Saints. The veteran Canadian forward gets a major score for Team Canada. It changes the Payable App scoreboard now. France 7-5-47. Canada 4-1-25. Kyle Graham, a boot along the ground, gets a major score for the Canadian, much to the delight of the Canadian women who are roaring there behind the goal.
Kyle Graham with all kinds of space in the forward 50 for Canada. They kick it over the defender's head. He's able to grab it. He's able to kick it through the big sticks. That's a goal for Canada. Let's see if this can get them back into this game. They still have a bit of a mountain to climb, but that mountain's been knocked down just that little bit more. So France still has a 22-point lead. We have 7 3/4 minutes left here in this third quarter. And the ball up. Lehman goes up for it. Can Canada pick it up? Several players around the ball, as there's been a lot in this game. Chasing after it is number 51, Loosemore. There's a nice tackle, but France gets it. Here's Boubet. Boubet, that ball bounces on the ground, picked up, and there's a whistle. High contact, so Canada forgets the free kick. Going, and this could be 50, didn't give the ball to the player, so this will get some territory downfield for Canada. That's number
34, Stephen Walker, I think.
Stephen Walker, yep. Just hands it off, kicks it towards a pack of players in the forward 50 for Canada. A kick at goal, it looks pretty good. Will it reach? No, it doesn't, but there's a mark right in the goal square. And this should be a goal for Canada. The mark by number 12, Kyle Graham. That could be a mark of the tournament, a Payable Apps mark of the tournament. So Graham going to attempt to kick his second goal of this game. Slow run up. Here we go. They like it. The Canadian women behind the goals like it. They like it because it's a goal for Canada. They're 5th in this game, and it's Graham's 2nd of the game for himself.
Yeah, 2nd consecutive goal on the score sheet for Kyle Graham. Perhaps he's going to look to, in hockey terms, go for the natural hat trick. That's a big one, though, as it changes our score line. 7-5-47, 5-1-31. France in front, but Canada cutting that deficit here to 16 points of the Payable Apps scoreboard. Visit payableapps.com. They're helping sports teams simplify fee collection through their Google add-ons as we will get a ball up at center.
Canadian women doing some dancing there after that goal. Let's see if Canada can do some more dancing on the field. That ball goes over Inkpen, picked up by 6. Decaux for France, but he's taken down, and Canada gets the free kick. Here is number 18, Mason Shoebridge of the Calgary Kangaroos. He is hometown's Minster, England. The big long kick, just in front of the goal square. It's off hands. French defender gets the ball, kicks it towards the boundary, and there's a nice mark by number 6, Decaux. He's been a factor here in the third quarter.
Yeah, certainly marks like that will put him in contention for the Powerwood MVP. He'll kick it along the left side. Ball right in front of our broadcast location there at Either Live. Thought it was going to come to me, and then they realized Patrick O'Neill's not the best option for moving the ball forward, and that is instead going to hand up in the hands of the umpire for a boundary throw-in as we're under 5 now left in this third quarter. They call it the Premiership quarter, and perhaps it is a game-turning quarter for Team Canada with those key Kyle Graham goals to make that lead a little less on the scoreboard. Ball's way up in the air. Where's it going to land? Team France initially, but we hear a whistle, so that's not going to be what sorts it out. It's going to be the ruck from the rock. Greg Lehman, he'll boot it high up in the air. It's going to go. Will that stay in play? No, it will not. The ball goes out. And I think that's what they call that out on the full. Will that be a French free kick? Yes,
French free
it will
kick,
be.
yes, out on the full. So wind might have caught that one a little bit. There was a gusty wind just as he kicked that, but regardless, that's not what he would have wanted. Inkpen nudges the player. Canada gains control, gets it into their forward 50 on the ground. Picked up by Loosemore. Ball on the ground. Here's a chance for Canada. Kick towards goal. Will it straighten out? It does! And this is their 6th goal. Half a dozen goals for Canada. More importantly, this gets them back into this game. It is on the Payable app scoreboard. France, 7 goals, 5 behinds, 47 points to Canada's 6 goals. 1 behind, 37 points. They've closed the gap to 10 points.
And I don't know if there's anybody in this tournament that is enjoying representing their country more than number 11, Ian Oyler for Team Canada. He was the flag bearer at the opening ceremonies, and he has been key with a goal in each quarter here for the Canadians. That was off of his boot. He changes the score line, as we just heard, to 47-37. We have game on here for sure in this third quarter. Ball up is taken by the Canadians off that center clearance. No prior opportunity there. That should lead to another ball up in the middle of the field. Of course, they're using 2 center squares. That's because there's a lot of traffic in this center square, so they don't want to wear it out with the 30 games, and they'll have a 3rd center square that'll be unveiled for the finals of this game as Team France now trying to battle for it. France again in blue, Canada in red as the ball on the ground as who's going to win that contest? Ball still in dispute. Dribbling along the ground it goes as we have a congested tackle there. I don't think that is going to be holding the ball. I don't think there was a lot of prior opportunity. I spoke too soon. It's a free kick to Canada.
Free kick to, I believe, Capilla. He kicks it. High ball. Lots of players in the way. It goes behind the pack. Nobody picks it up for very long. But there is the clear out by number 19, Boubet. He's been defending well in this game. Here's the ball being chased by Bridges. He's able to pick it up. But did he get rid of it properly? He did. That will be a free kick for France.
Yeah, holding the ball.
Oh, and he didn't give the ball back to the French player, so there's a 50-meter penalty, and France will get an opportunity to kick another goal. Unfortunate mistake there by Canada, and this will be a good opportunity for France. I'd say going to be about 25 meters from goal. Let's see where he marks it. Didn't see the number who has the free. So the free kick is Enzo Nibel. France trying to get the lead back to 16 points after 2 straight goals by Canada, and they do. Makes no mistake. And Nibel kicks the goal to put France ahead again by 16 points.
Yeah, and we're being broadcast here on Either Live, but that 50-meter penalty could end up being a TSN turning point because that helps French get another goal to make it 8-5-53, 6-1-37 on the Payable app scoreboard. Team France cashing in, and that is a critical goal in the juncture of this game with all the momentum going the way of Team Canada. After the holding the ball call, the free kick's given because the ball wasn't given back to the French player who earned a free kick, and now Canada sees that mountain get a little bit tougher. Of course, still lots and lots of football to be played here, but it is a lead in the hands of Team France. Ball up at center, and ball still in dispute there in that center square. It'll come out into French hands, kicked along the right boundary. Where's it going to go? No mark completed there. Ball on the ground. French player trying to protect it, uses the handball option, and that will do it for the third quarter of Aussie football action here. Again, Team France ahead on the Payable Apps scoreboard. 8-5-53, 6-1-37 is the score in favor of Les Bleus after three quarters.
As a coach, you really don't want to see that. That 50-meter penalty really gave them an easy opportunity late in the quarter to get the goal. You possibly can defend, keep them from the goals. Really a key mistake there, and it extends France's lead to 16 points. So the French Roosters are certainly still in control of this game. Better quarter, though, for Canada. Greater territorial control. Better decisions being made. We'll see if they'll have to even raise their game more in the fourth quarter if they want to be in this one when the final horn sounds.
Yeah, if that quarter were to be extrapolated over the whole game, Canada would take it. But it's more than a 20-minute game. It's an 80-minute game. But the good news is for Canada, they do have 20 minutes left. But it is 8-5-53, 6-1-37. France in the lead at three-quarter time. You're watching the 2024 Transatlantic Cup coming to you live from Colonel Samuel Smith Park on the campus of Humber College in Toronto, Ontario. And it is being produced by eThere Live, streaming live on YouTube, courtesy of AFL Canada.
Australian football is in Canada. Fast. Tough. Spectacular. Fun. Join AFL Canada. Visit aflcanada.com.
Footy fans, you need to know about AFL Canada Shop. AFL Canada Shop has great items, whether you are a player, a coach, an umpire, a fan of Team Canada, or helping to grow this great game. Plus, AFL Canada Shop sells the highest quality Australian footballs at the best price anywhere. And we ship everywhere in the footy world. So visit AFL Canada Shop today at aflcanadashop.ca.
Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Install the Payable Forms add-on, link your payment provider, share, and get paid. Your customers can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Save time and hassle by automating your payment process quickly and simply. Payable Forms gets you paid.
And we're back here at the 2024 Transatlantic Cup at three-quarter time between Team Canada and France men's action. Final day of the men's round robin. And Canada looking for their first win on home soil. They do have their work cut out for them, though, as we look at the Payable Apps scoreboard. France 8-5-53, Canada 6-1-37. David Smith is alongside me, Patrick McNeil. David, better quarter for Canada in the third, but obviously they need more improvement to vault ahead of the French to get their first win of the tournament. What does Canada need to do to reverse this trend?
Well, you're seeing the Canadian huddle here. They need to gain control. They need to make good decisions. They need to get consecutive marks, get it into their end of the ground, and they need to kick goals. Now, when they've had the opportunities, they've kicked goals. They're 6-1 right now. They've been very efficient when they've gotten it into their end of the ground. They just haven't done it enough in this game, and that's why France have the lead they do.
Yeah, Canada looking too close to ground. Before we begin the fourth quarter, I want to say a big hello to my sister Janine watching back home in Cape Breton, one of the biggest footy supporters and fans there is in the Atlantic Canadian region, and she'll be cheering to see if Team Canada can complete a comeback here. And again, this is the final game of the round robin on this Wednesday. The men's playoff contest will be conducted on Friday. Conducted the right word, we're going with it anyway. The women's playoff action will be tomorrow. We know the semifinals there. Canada will take on the USA, and it will be at Great Britain and Ireland in semifinal action, but we still have more men's action here today. Again, we've got the fourth quarter. Then we've got another game later in the afternoon between Great Britain and Colombia. Easy for me to say. David Smith will remain on the call for that one. Brian Barish of AFL USA will join him for that. But before that, we have fourth quarter action between Team Canada and Team France. Looks like this ball up will go to the center square. That's a little bit further from us, the almost center square. David Smith with the tip.
Here's the ball up to start the fourth quarter. Canada trying to get back into this game. That's Moaning, I believe, in the ruck for Canada. It's on the ground. That looked like it could be a throw, but umpire says okay. Handball by France. Lots of players around the ball. That's number 26. No, not 26. There is none on the 24. That's David Cook. That will be a ball up here. Still at midfield. Picked up by Canada. 51, Loosemore. He can't get a clean handball away. There's another handball that goes into French hands. Ball kicked towards the visitmississauga.ca end. Picked up. Here's kick at goal. That's partially smothered, I believe, and it goes out of bounds, and that will be a boundary throw-in deep into the French forward pocket.
Yeah, Greg Bridges was careful to not touch that ball there for Team Canada. Again, the Canadians need to come back here. They find themselves down by 16 points in quarter number 4, final round robin game for both of these sides, as there will be a ball up boundary throw in here, and that will go up to the sky. Ruck hands are up, tipped by Team Canada. Canada in the 450, ball's going way up, and that what will that do? It's going to go through for a minor score. That will make the score on the Payable app scoreboard. France 8-6, 54, Canada 6-1, 37.
Canada have been slightly lucky that France hasn't been more efficient with their forward 50 entries. There's a mark, but a play on, and a handball for Canada. Kicked down the line, but that's into French hands, and a mark by Bouillet. Free kick here in front of number 13, Burke. Long kick down the line. Picked up by France. Tackle there by Inkpen. Ball bouncing towards lots of players here. At midfield. France gets the ball. Kicks towards, and there's a nice mark. That could be a Payable apps mark of the tournament. Nice contested mark by number 23, Marco Pinto. Good, that'd be a good wrestling name, Marco Pinto. Here's a kick, and a mark there again by France. Consecutive
to get up there.
Yeah, consecutive marks there. This is, I believe, 31, Logan Bonhomme.
Yeah, if you look closely, you can see the French actually have the nameplates almost hockey or basketball style. That might ruffle some of the traditionalists watching Australian football, but it does help us commentators just a little bit, as Bonhomme is just outside that 50-meter arc. He's going to have an opportunity to crack at goal. And he's assessing his options. What is he going to do? He'll boot it across the face, and will that go all the way out? No, it is going to stay in play. Comes on to French hands on the opposite pocket as the ball dribbling along the boundary line. It'll be kicked, booted towards the goal square. Ball's up, bouncing out of play.
Bouncing out of play. Wrong end, though, for Canada. France in the visitmississauga.end, their scoring end in this quarter. They lead by 17. Again, on the Payable app scoreboard, that's 8 goals, 6 behinds, 54 points. To Canada's 6 goals, 1 behind, 37 points. There's a quick tackle. And the umpire will say, that's mine. Ball up in the deep forward pocket for France. They won't mind it being down there for lengths of time. He's pulled off the ball, and that's a free kick to Canada. So this will relieve the defensive pressure. We've just passed the 4-minute point of the fourth quarter. Here's a high kick off of French hands. A lot of players around the ball again. Again, the game slowing to a crawl. It's happened a few times in this game. There's really been not a lot of flow in this game. Ball kicked, bouncing all over the place. Canada's defense holding. Succession of handballs on the far side, on the Lake Ontario side. France is able to gain control. Kicks it towards their forwards, but it's picked up by Euler. Can't mark that. France picks it up again. Nice tackle, though. That'll be holding the ball. That will be a Canada free kick. And let's see if what can be done with the ball by Rathjeb. He quickly kicks it to midfield in the wing, far side of the field. French pick it up. Quick handball. Canada gains control again. Very little room for Canada right now. Every time they get the ball, there's a French player right on them, and they really can't get any flow going as they really need some points here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, French pressure has been exceptional in this game, and that's part of the reason why Team France has that 17-point lead that you see them nursing with 14:26 remaining here in the third quarter. Ball up right in front of that lovely AFL Ontario scoreboard that has the 6 flags that are competing for national honors here in this Transatlantic Cup. Ball is on French hands and French feet. Ball kicked down the left side, of course. The French in blue today kicking in the fourth quarter towards the visitmississauga.ca end. Canada kicking towards the Toronto Island end. Team Canada in possession. That's Ian Euler. Ian Euler will take a boot. Yes, he does cheer the Edmonton Oilers because of his last name, I have been told. Ball is bouncing along the ground here. It'll come to French hands. It's booted along the right side. We have a Canadian player down. And
Kyle Graham reaching for his leg.
No, I heard the whistle. I don't know if the umpire, I don't think the umpire whistled time off. Again, this is a run-time tournament, but the umpire can stop the clock due to injury. Kyle Graham, a good sign to see him up. Of course, he has a couple of goals in this game. A key veteran, and he's got the ball as well.
He's taking a free kick, so he looks to be okay. Canada looking to get a forward 50 entry here. Looking to get some flow and getting closer here in this game. High ball. No one's able to mark it. Ball's bouncing around like volleyball players trying to get the ball. That kick goes into the wrong hands as far as Canada is concerned, as Boucher, the captain of the Roosters, gets it. There's a kick towards midfield and another mark. That is Tebayou. He kicks it off hands. Roar with the ball and picked up again by France. Kicked in their forward 50 in the pocket over everybody's heads. It's batted towards the behind post and it goes out and will be a boundary throw in the pocket in the French forward end in the visitmississauga.ca end. You know, with hundreds of must-see experiences, plenty of gorgeous scenery, world-class eats and events, Mississauga is yours to explore.
Certainly is, and Greg Bridges looked like he was trying to visit Mississauga through the uprights. He wanted to concede a behind there, I think. It was a veteran play, but he ended up pushing it over the boundary line instead, so that means it is a throw-in. So France doesn't get the point, but they do get a better opportunity at goal. As ball bouncing around, Bridges has his hands out. As the contest goes to ground, there'll be a whistle and a ball up. And for those that are not super familiar, it's sort of a similar scenario to Canadian football where it's often advantageous to concede that 1 point and have less of a territorial disadvantage. So again, the ball is along the ground. There's a boot off. French feet goes up in the air. Where's it going to go? It's going to go through for a goal. Major score for Team France. Looks to me like that was off the boot of Logan Bonhomme, who plays for the Auckland Giants, and he has a critical goal for Team France. France changes the Payable app scoreboard to 9-6-60 to 6-1-37. That is a crucial major score for Team France.
Turnaround and kicks. It goes through the big sticks. And that could be a heartbreaker for Canada right now. They seem to be getting a little bit of momentum, but it's snatched from their hands with the kick and the goal by Bonhomme.
Yeah, Bonhomme is obviously no stranger to high-level footy. He's won the AFL New Zealand Premiership the last 2 years. He's also played Aussie football in South Australia. Ball up is won initially by France. Ball on the ground, and it's going to be handballed out the back there for Team Canada. They move it forward, I should say. There's a heavy, powerful boot towards the forward 54. Canada hands are up, not cleanly marked, but it is possession. It's booted there towards the goal. It's going to bounce, and it stays in play for the French, who are in their defensive 50 trying to clear it out of trouble. It's booted along the left boundary, and hands are up. Can anybody complete the mark? Not in this particular scenario, as the French will kick it, keeps it low along the ground. Ball's dribbling. Team France in possession, booted along the left side. That is going to be cleanly marked. Looked like that was Nicolas Baouche, the captain of France. Booted in forward 54, the French in blue, Canada in red. Ball low along the ground now, and there's a big tackle by Lehman, but the ball was distributed before the tackle, so play goes right on. Ball is way up in the air. No one's able to mark it, and it is still free for the taking as the French player is wrapped, as that was Julien Lefebvre, and didn't have a lot of opportunity to do anything with that, so it's a ball up.
We're already through the halfway through here in the fourth quarter. Canada, third quarter, excuse me. Big deficit here right now for Canada. Kick towards just the forward arc, 50-meter arc, and there is holding the ball. So that'll be a free kick for Canada, and they'll be able to relieve some defensive pressure. But they need some offensive flow here, as the second half hasn't gone the way of Canada. Here's kick towards the boundary. Far side of the field. So looks like it will be a free kick for Canada. Canada behind currently by 23 points. Less than 9 minutes left here in the third quarter. We're at Humber College at the 2024 Transatlantic Cup presented by Payable Apps. This is the second game of the day in the men's competition. Last day of the pool portion of the tournament. Boundary throw in, midfield, just in front of the scoreboard here at Humber College. Here is the boundary throw in.
Boundary throw in. It is fourth quarter action. They do have that corrected on the screen. Good job, our folks here at eThere Live, getting that corrected as the ball will come out in towards the forward 50. Bouncing it goes. Where is it going to land? And is it going to be on French hands? Yes, it will be. Handball option. France doing a good job of getting numbers to the contest here in their defensive 50, as it's going to be marched towards the center. Kick, and that goes just long enough for the mark. Nice, simple, short kick. That's what France had to do to get the ball out of trouble. Ball goes way skyward. No French jumpers in sight there. It's going to go bounce by Lehman as Team France try to get a forward 50 entry and an attempt to keep that in play, but the French player, Bocard, was not able to do so.
I thought I imagined that third quarter for a second there, so it confused me a little. But
well, Canada wants to go back to that third quarter because that was when they were getting the points.
And they wish there was more time left. So, but it is the fourth quarter, 7.5 minutes left in it. French with a commanding lead right now. Canada does get the free kick. I believe it'll be number 18, Mason Schubert. No, it goes to Moaning, I believe. High kick towards the boundary. I think that's going to go out. Regardless, it's either out on the full or a mark by Decaux. He chases with the ball, goes down the line, kicks it in the pocket. Can they mark it? They can't. It goes over the boundary. And Canada kicks it out. Now a kick at goal off of hands. I believe that was Bridges with the rush behind. And Canada will try to relieve the defensive pressure. That's one more point for France. Bridges. High kick down the line. That was Knightston with the jump. Canada does gain control. Kicks it down the line. Here is Graham. Turns and kicks. Not a lot of players in the forward part of the ball for Canada. Here is Walker. Walker kicks it to an empty forward area for Canada. It doesn't go through, but it's carried through by the French player. Canada's saying there was no pressure. Should be a free kick for Canada. Umpire disagreed. It's a behind for Canada, not what they're looking for.
Yeah, Timothy Lang decides to run that through. That's the plausible deniability, like overrunning first base in baseball.
We could be mistaken. It looks like it's a free kick to Canada. France is not happy with that. Just throws the ball down on the ground. This could be an easy goal for Canada. This will be number 28, Morgan White, with the goal, and Canada gets their 7th. And that will narrow the lead with still over 5 minutes left here in this game.
Yeah, Payable Labs scoreboard changes following the Canadian goal. It goes 9-7, 61, 7-1, 43 now 2. Clarify, if you're new to Australian football, there is a bit of leniency if you are close to the goal or behind post. Sometimes you can run it behind if it's deemed to be a natural action. That was one of those gray area ones, and it was Timothy Lang of the Antony Blues for France that was trying to push the rules. As I said, they kind of allow you to run it behind if you're overrunning the base, so to speak, as you would in baseball. But I think it was clear. There was probably the right decision by the umpire that merited a free kick. So Canada happy to not get the 1 point, so they get the opportunity of 6 points, and they get a key goal as the game resumes. Now Bridges has it for Team Canada. He'll kick it along the right side. Ball goes bouncing along the right boundary. Canadian pressure is on now. They're down by 18, and they need to rush, but they do have a window of opportunity here. Ball is kicked along the right side, and it is going to be marked. Key intercept mark there by Julien Lefebvre.
That's a beautiful intercept mark. Relieve the pressure here for France. They're going to take their time. The clock's on their side. Canada needs 3 goals to tie. 3 goals behind. 18-point lead for France. Ball bouncing here in midfield. Picked up by France. Kicks towards, and that's a beauty mark. That is a nice lead and mark by the French player. Just waiting for the number. That's number 9, Pierre Bousquard of the Paris Cockerels.
And he knows the clock too, David. He's taking his time. Even if he's not going to kick for goal, he's going to pretend to kick the goal just to melt a little bit more time. Smart play.
He had 30 seconds, though. He actually could have taken more time. Here's a kick towards goal. It's a beauty kick straight down the middle, and that's another goal for France. That might be the final nail in the coffin for this one. France leads on the Payable app scoreboard, 10 goals, 7 behind, 67 points to Canada, 7 goals, 1 behind, 43 points. And there's going to be about 3 minutes left in this game once we get the ball up. So it's a real tall task for Canada in this game.
Yeah, beauty sequence by Pierre Bousquard. Nice mark, nice high kick right through the post. And in the time of the game, certainly that is going to make things extremely difficult for Team Canada to come back. France, I think, full marks here for the lead that they have established, a 24-point margin here. Ball is up. Center bounce. French hands battling for it. It'll be kicked along the ground there by Team Canada. And it's scooped up. And on the attack for Team Canada's Brady Walker. He's done a lot of good work for Team Canada today. He's going to boot that way, way, way up skyward. Who wants it? No one's able to mark the ball as it's in the Canadian forward 50. And it's going to dribble out of play. And that will end up in the hands of the umpire. I think we're going to get a boundary throw in at the Toronto Island end.
Monin got hands on that, but couldn't get both of them. Couldn't take down the mark. It is in the Canadian forward end. Boundary throw in right in front of goal. Picked up by France. Number 31, Bonhomme. That's off of Walker's hands for Canada. Does get it forward, though. Euler going through the ball, but picked up by Rohr. That ball goes off number 9, Bousquard, the last goal scorer. Number 18 for Canada is Shoebridge, off of hands, and that'll be a free kick for Canada, so this could be an opportunity to get some more points on the board. Tressini. Long straight kick, does it have enough? It doesn't. Nice defensive goaltending, as it were, by France, and they clear it out of their defensive 50. Canada does pick it up. Loses it. Ball now on the ground. We have less than 90 seconds left here in this game. France leads by 24.
Yeah, France in control, 10-7, 67, 7-1, 43. Payable lap scoreboard, tap won by Canada. Time of the essence, Canada at this point seeing their hopes of victory diminishing. They're just looking to finish strong here in their final round robin effort. Remember, Canada still has an excellent chance of making the semifinals, although that will go out the window. Colombia is able to pull something off against Great Britain as we are going to get another ball up, I believe. Get some
free kick to Canada here. So it looks like it's going to number 62, Jason Nyston. But the clock is running down, and there won't be a lot of time left. So Nyston takes the ball. This is going to be a French victory. Kick towards the pocket, and that is a nice mark there by
Morgan White.
Morgan White. Certainly been the best player for Canada, I think, certainly from an offensive standpoint. Here's a kick at goal. And that is left and behind. And there's the horn. France gets their victory, their second of the tournament. Canada falls to 0-3 as the final. France, 10 goals, 7 behinds, 67 points to Canada. 7 goals, 2 behinds, 44 points. Canada efficient in the offensive end. They just didn't have enough entries, enough kicks at goal. And France takes this one here at Humber College.
Yeah, to me, Team France thoroughly deserved win. Canada had the play in the third quarter. I guess the Premiership quarter term wasn't applicable in this case because France, to me, I thought Canada started pretty well, but ultimately it is the French. Good defensive pressure from France as well. They didn't make the possessions for Canada easy when Canada did get those inside 50s. To me, that was one of the differences of the game.
Yeah, you know, they were really pressure, but also not... they did it in the right way. They pressured them. They didn't do too much. They relied on their teammates when that was important. Really good performance by France. Canada certainly will be disappointed with this loss. Likely they still have an opportunity in the semifinals, but certainly been a tough tournament so far for Canada. We'll see if they get another chance to stay in it to claim the title in this Transatlantic Cup.
Of course, a lot of good French performances. I think all the goal kickers accounted well. But, David, who do you think is in contention for the Powerwood MVP of the game?
You know, I really like Bosquet. There's several players that certainly France that you could argue. But Clement Decoux was very good. We'll let you pick the MVP.
Well, as you said, a lot of good performances for Team France. I like the work of Decoux with some big intercept marks, but you go through the roster, a lot of key players. But to me, one guy I think he got better throughout the game was number 31, Logan Bonhomme for France. Again, this is picking a lot of valuable players for Team France. I will go with him for the Powerwood MVP. Again, Powerwood game MVPs are being donated by hand-carved trophies for each game. As, again, we can provide information on that, courtesy of Powerwood.com. Custom cedar supplies done right. Cedar supplies based in Western Canada. So we'll give Logan Bonhomme today the MVP for France. So, again, France posts the victory full-time, 10-7-67 over Canada, 7-2-44. You are watching the 2024 Transatlantic Cup here from the campus of Humber College, Colonel Samuel Smith Park in Toronto, Ontario. Produced by eThere Live, courtesy of AFL Canada YouTube.